Welcome to the Big Fellas Podcast, where we chop it up about all things past, present, and future about the game of basketball. Where facts, stats, and context reign supreme.
That is blasphemous!
Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. Get ready to learn from players, coaches, and fans from all levels of the game and see the court in a brand new way. And now, fresh off the sidelines, here's your host, John Hartofilis.
What it do, fellas, and welcome to the Big Fellas Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, JH, coming to you from New York City, the mecca of basketball. Today, I'm joined by Ryan Kennedy, the CEO of Grind City Training. Ryan's someone that I always looked up to during my time at Xavier, captaining the varsity basketball team when I was a freshman, and then immediately enjoying success in the basketball world after graduation. We've got a good one in store for you today, fellas. Episode number 11, Ryan Kennedy, Grind City Training. What's going on, Ryan?
John, how we doing, man?
It's going to be a fun episode. To start off, tell us a little about your time at Xavier. Obviously, you were named to the CHSA All-City team twice. You were city champion in 2014, which is a big year for Xavier. And then you were the leading scorer in the entire league in 2015. What was that like for you?
It was a fun ride, man. I remember going into high school in general. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what I was going to get out of playing at Xavier in the 4 years there. My freshman year, I played on the freshman team, and we had a crazy year. We were like a 500 team. No one really expected anything out of us, and then we went on a crazy run. We won like our last 8 or 9 games of the season, ended up winning the city championship. And that year, honestly, was one of the most fun I had at Xavier. And then played 3 years on varsity under Coach McGrain. Shout out Coach McGrain, greatest coach of all time. But yeah, overall, my experience at Xavier, dude, it was something I always look back on with fond memories, and it really helped me grow as an individual, and definitely made me into the basketball player and just the man that I am today.
I was a freshman, you were a senior at Xavier, and I just watching whether it was going to the Regis triple header, you always put on a show, and it was always just fun to watch. And the freshman championship we're talking about is the last time we won a freshman championship. Hopefully one's coming up soon.
Yeah, man. There is. I got a good feeling there's one coming up soon.
So then after Xavier, you went to Pace for a year, and then you went to Farmingdale. And at Farmingdale, you made the most threes in Farmingdale history. What was it like to play in college, kind of just winning at multiple different levels, moving around? What was that like for you?
Playing college basketball was something I always dreamed about as a kid. You know, something I was always very determined to do all throughout high school. You know, just the opportunity I had to play at Pace my freshman year was something I was very grateful for, because I played with some tremendous competition there. And despite not really playing as much as I wanted to or stuff like that, like I still took so much out of that. And then when I transferred to Farmingdale for the 3 years, you know, I was really able to work my way into, like, sophomore year, I played maybe 10, 12 minutes a game, which I wanted more. And that just forced me to work so hard to where my junior, senior year, I finally worked my way into that starting lineup. I was finally playing the big minutes that I wanted. So that was just, with my journey, that was the part I loved the most, like always having to work to get to where I wanted to be. Like nothing came easy. You know, I put in a lot of work. And I feel like that, you know, that in itself, like having to put in all that work, having to figure out how to get myself better is why it'll translate so well to becoming a good trainer. Because I did that every day, man. I had to put in a lot of work. I was always in the gym figuring out new stuff to improve my game. And it's just, it really, what it all comes down to is it's a passion of mine. It's something I love to do. You know, so when I train these kids now, it just reminds me of when I was that age and I was in the gym trying to get better.
No, awesome. And so obviously you're starting Grind City Training now. You launched it last month. It's going great for you so far. What got you started in thinking you're going to launch Grind City Training?
I had this idea for so long, dude. I really did. I always knew that when my playing career was over, that like coaching and training was definitely something I was going to do. You know, no matter what, nobody told me that's what I wanted to do. So now that I got Grind City Training off the ground, you know, I got kids that I can train, and I have many ideas I plan on implementing with the whole training. But, you know, it's been so fun for me, dude. And it really is. This is my passion in life. This is what I love to do. So waking up every day knowing that I get the chance to work with kids and help them improve their game and help them feed into their passions. And, it's just a beautiful thing. And I love it so much. So I'm very happy with it so far. And I got big, big plans for it going forward.
No, that's awesome. So what are your plans for the future going on? Like whether it's merchandise, stuff like that, what are you thinking?
We came out with the logo there about like 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. So we'll have the t-shirts coming out very soon. Once the weather cools out a little bit, winter comes, we'll have the hoodies. We'll have everything, dude. I plan on having backpacks, socks, you name it. I plan on having. But I mean, that's just gear wise. I mean, the plans with training is I want to grow this as big as possible. Like I want to get the chance to work with as many kids as I can. High level kids, young kids, boys, girls, whoever. Like I want the chance to work with everyone and give them the chance to play at the highest level they can.
No, definitely, that's awesome. And what do you think separates you from other trainers? Like, what do you specifically bring to the world of training that no one else has to offer?
Well, what I think really makes me cut out to be a great trainer is that I was doing this for so long by myself. Like any team I've ever played on, you'd be very hard sought to find a player that worked harder than me. I'd be very confident in saying that I was the hardest worker on every team I played on. And I was in the gym every day working. I was just crazy. Like if I had a game coming up and I knew I wasn't in the gym, like I didn't have my confidence. Like I had to be in the gym in order to play. And, I basically taught myself everything because, I didn't have a dad or a uncle or nobody in my family ever touched a basketball. So, a lot of this I kind of had to figure it out on my own. And I feel like with anything in life, if you teach it to yourself and you learn it on your own, then it's really, that knowledge is absorbed so much more. Whereas if someone taught it to you and it kind of was like easy and so yeah, I feel like just the fact that I was always in that gym working, dude, and it's just my passion in life. I think that's what's going to separate me from a lot of other trainers, that I'm willing to put in work, and they're going to have to work very, very hard to keep up with me.
No, definitely, and obviously, it's so much harder to teach yourself how to play the game and go out and find all this stuff out yourself instead of having a trainer when you were younger to do that for you and just robotically rep out what they're telling you to do. You actually had to go out and figure that out on your own. So obviously that helped you out a lot. Yeah. So what was that journey like also for you, being the only person in your family to ever have played basketball before or anything like that, and then having to teach yourself the game because of that? Like
my family, they're always interested in it. It was tough for them too because like they didn't really understand it that well. Like my dad grew up in Ireland, so he played Irish sports. He was a big time hurler. But I gotta give him credit, man. He was at every game. Same with my mom. They were at every game. Every game they could come to, they were there. And they just always supported me and stuff. But the fact that no one else played it, it just made it really cool for me that I was kind of the one person in the family that had that unique kind of aspect. Like I was a basketball player. That's what I love to do. Like they would always have questions to ask me about it, and no one else in the family would have basketball stories, so they were all kind of interested.
Tell us a little bit just about the start of Grind State Training. What, like the day you kind of said, you know what, I've had this idea for a while, I'm gonna put it into action.
Well, the idea has been in my head for so long, bro. It's like I've seen trainers on Instagram. I've had the chance to work with some trainers over the last 2 to 3 years. And I knew it was something I was cut out to do. And then, with this whole pandemic, when we were quarantined in our houses for a couple months there, I really, I took the time and I planned it all out. Like I really planned my approach, what I wanted to do. And then the hardest part was just putting it into motion. Like when do you start? When, whatever. And I mean, for me, it was, I was working out at the park every day. I would see these kids playing. I saw the passion in their eyes when they were playing and stuff. And I was like, yo, I should be working these kids out. Like I should be helping them. And then one day I was there doing my calisthenics, banging out some pull-ups. And I see my boy Mike Ruiz, and he was with a young kid named Jacob. And I went over and I said what up to my boy Mike. And then I started talking to the young kid, Jacob, asking him where he played at, how old he was, would he be interested in training? And then we got to it the very next morning. He came. We got it in early on a Sunday morning, I think like a 9 a.m. workout. And then from there, kept working with Jacob. Other kids saw what I was doing. They got interested, hit me up to work out. And now I can say that I train probably around 15 kids, 15 to 20 kids, and it's growing steadily every day. Yeah, that's how I got started. And now it's every day. Like for the last 3-4 weeks with it, I've been doing the construction 7 to 3, and then the training 4 to 8. But now I want to go full time. Like this is what I want to do with my life. So I'm really buckling down. I'm gonna dedicate myself to it, and all these kids that want to get better, Grind City Training is the place to come. A big plan I have, that I plan on implementing next summer 2021, is I want to start like a big tournament at the local park by my house, Maurice Park. I'm gonna start it with a men's league probably, but I would love to do it for high school kids, young like middle schoolers. I want to call it the Battle of Queens. Almost every town in Queens would kind of have would be represented, right? So there'd be Team Maspeth, there'd be Team Astoria, Team Middle Village, Team Glendale, Team East Elmhurst, and just have every kind of hood in Queens represented and coming to Maurice Park and playing. And I think that could gain a lot of traction. I think it would, just for the community and stuff, would be huge. People would love watching those games, and turn it into like a little kind of like Dykeman environment where it's like Friday, Saturday night. Like people know what they're doing. They know their plans. All right, we're going to Maurice and we're watching the games. And I want to make that happen because it would give everyone in Maspeth something to look forward to on the weekends. And just people in Queens, like I think would really like that, and it'd be cool. Like let's see which hood can produce the best basketball players. Like let's see, like is it like are the best basketball players in Queens in Glendale, or are they in Elmhurst? Like where are they? And it'll be very competitive. But we'll see. There's a lot to do to make that happen, but that's a big plan that I have for the future. The Battle of Queens, Maurice Park. I'm gonna make it happen.
Oh, that's awesome. And what was that workout like when you went and worked out with Delson?
Oh, Delson, yeah, Delson. I've been seeing him on Instagram for the last 2 to 3 years, man, and I really just love his whole model of training. It's very high intensity. It's ball handling heavy, but it's stuff that no other trainers are doing. Like he's really forcing the kids to get their combos up, to have the ball protected. Like when I see him guarding them and stuff, like I don't see other trainers doing that. Like a lot of trainers, they'll set up the cones and then they'll just chill out for the whole hour and they'll tell the kids what to do, and they're lazy. But Delson's approach is when he has the kids working, he's working too. And it's that high intensity, pushing their conditioning and forcing them to work on their moves, and then giving them the chance to compete with other high-level kids. That's exactly what I want to do, man. I want to bring in some high-level players, put them through like hour 15 workouts of just high-intensity drills, improving their skills, and then give them the chance to play and compete at the end of every workout. So, yeah, Delson is someone I've really admired in the training game. So there last week, I just DM'd him on Instagram, told him I was a big fan of his work and that, I would love the chance to come watch him in action. And I had these two kids, 15, 16 years old, that I work out, Nick and Jaden, who are, they're very skilled players. And where we're from, Maspeth, the Queens area, the competition ain't the best. So I wanted to give them the chance to go out there and compete with some of his kids that I know are killers. So that's what we did. We went out to Roselle, New Jersey, and Delson put them through a workout with about six other kids, and I loved watching it. The kids had a great time working, and I took a lot from it. I was there studying them, and Main thing was just I wanted to give the kids the opportunity to work with a high level trainer, to compete with high level kids, and we got that out of it. So it was overall a great experience.
So another cool thing I think you're doing is Freestyle Fridays. Can you just tell us a little about that, because it's a really cool thing you've been posting on social media every Friday.
Yeah, I think it's just fun. I like doing it. My whole playing career, that's always kind of been, I've always kind of taken the jokes and the heat for like dribbling too much. So it's like, with the whole Freestyle Friday, it's like now I get a chance to showcase my handle and like showcase the moves. So it's like, why not? And it's fun, I think. And what I want to do with that is like, I want to find some competition. Like every Friday, if we could compete with 9 or 10 dudes, they're posting the videos too. Have the people on Instagram, voting who their favorite video is. I think that would be very cool, very interactive. But at the end of the day, that's just all about having fun. Because we work so hard that you can't forget that basketball is a sport. It is. You are supposed to be having fun with it. So that's really what the goal is there.
No, that's awesome. And yeah, obviously it's important to have fun, but you also have some really high intensity workouts a lot of the time. So what's like these Saturday beach workouts you've been doing?
Saturday beach workouts are no joke, bro. When I was in high school, I got the chance to work out with this guy, Anton. He was the trainer at Christ the King. Rest in peace. One of the greatest dudes I ever met. But he would take us out to Robert Moses Beach. He would do weekdays, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and he would put us through these like 3-4 hour workouts, just grueling. Oh my God. I remember like at the end of those workouts, my body would be so sore that I couldn't move the rest of the day. But it was following his model. That's exactly what these athletes need. Like that's how they get stronger, how they get faster, quicker, better endurance. So I think it's very important, and I love with the whole Grind City training model. Like I don't want to just be doing basketball skills like the ball handling and the shooting and all that. Like I also want to work with these players and help them improve their strength and conditioning, just improve their bodies, get quicker, get faster. Because a lot of the stuff I teach them on the court, if I can work with them off the court too, and I could show them certain exercises, like a lot of exercises I can show them translate to moves and stuff they would be using on the court. So if I get the chance to work with them and I can show them like, listen, this exercise here, if you want to get a better hesitation crossover, like you got to do your side lunges. If you want a better snatch back, you got to do your lunges. If you want to be able to blow by people, you got to do your sprints in the thick sand. And if you want to play 40 minutes, you got to make sure you're in better shape than anybody. So those Saturday morning beach workouts is what's going to do that. And I have so much fun with it. Like I just take the kids out to the beach, and I just go until they don't want to go no more, until they have had enough, and I can see it in their faces. So usually like 2-3 hours, they're good, and it's just solid work. We're out there, we're working.
When you work with these kids, what do you specifically like to focus on that you think other trainers probably don't overlook?
Well, we focus on improving their skills, obviously. But I like to test them. I put them through challenging drills, high intensity. Like I like to see where their conditioning's at. So it's very, one drill to the next, everything game speed, game situation. But if I see something that's wrong or I don't like, I take the time to teach and correct, which a lot of these trainers I don't do. Like there's a lot of lazy trainers out there, but if we're working out for an hour, I'm gonna make sure that I give you a full hour's worth of training and just attention and detail. And, I'm gonna earn my money with all these training sessions. It's something I'm very passionate about. So, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. And, any little, like the smallest, sometimes it's crazy with kids, sometimes what registers for them. Like, so I always take the time to teach, because you never know, what they need to hear in order to correct a mistake or something, or a bad habit. So I just really try my best to make sure that any possible way I could help them improve throughout the workout, I do that.
So another really cool thing is you actually have one of your players in the studio right now.
My man, Jaden Fleming. I've had the chance to work with Jaden now for like 4 weeks. He's a hell of a player. 16 years old, goes to St. Thomas More Prep. So our goal with Jaden now is like he can play. He's got game, but we're still improving every day. And we really want to get him playing at that next level. So we need he's a Division I prospect for sure. So we need to start getting those offers coming in. But listen, the way he's been working over these last 4 weeks, he's putting in the work, and we're very confident it'll come.
Hey, John, nice to be here. Thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm Jaden Fleming. I had reached out from Ryan through Instagram, and I had seen him training a little kid, which his name is Jacob. And I asked him, I said, hey, I wrote him a little paragraph about who I am, what school I go to, and the grade I'm in. And I was looking for a trainer throughout the middle of quarantine, and I just needed to get some work in. And he said, hey, come through 5 p.m. Next day I came and we just worked. He put me through a very intense workout, a lot of cones, and he played a lot of hard defense on me to start off and put me through a lot of shots. And I can say that I wasn't prepared for it at first. And I went home very tired that day. And next day we went again 6, next day 5, and we continued to go every day. We probably had 2-3 Westers in the past 4 weeks.
Yeah, I was
so
2 to 3.
We've just been going every day and just putting in the work.
Yeah, no, I gotta give Jaden a lot of credit, man. When he messaged me on Instagram, I didn't know what to expect, but I just knew it was the chance to work with a young man from Left Rack who, wanted to work on his game. So I said, absolutely. And he showed up at the park that day. And I knew just by looking at him, I'm like, yo, this kid looks like he could play. And when I first started doing the training and stuff, like I was writing out all my workouts that I wanted to do in the notebook and just making sure I was organized. But I remember that day I kind of like, once I saw him, I was like, all right, I don't think we should waste time doing this. So I threw him in the fire right away. I wanted to see what he can do. So I put him through some very challenging drills, very high intensity. We worked on a lot of tough moves, showing him ways to score. I would say around July 25th, 26th. Ever since then, we've been working almost every day. In the last month, I'd say we've taken, 2 to 3 days off. And that's just because you do need to take a day off every once in a while. But he's just so willing to work. And he's so dedicated to his craft, which I love because, I was the same way when I was his age. And he's just got so much potential. Like I tell him every day, like the sky's the limit. Just keep working. It's all just consistency and discipline. Like if you show up, you put in the work, you avoid any kind of distractions or trouble outside the court, and you're just really locked in and focused on your goals. Like he could achieve all of that. I see him playing on the Division I level. I see him playing at the professional level. So just having the chance to work with him every day has been a blessing, and I'm very, I'm very proud to call him a friend now and call him like a little brother to me. He's, getting the chance to work with him has been great.
It's definitely been a great experience. And like I've had other trainers and, Ryan pays attention to details, works on a lot of footwork stuff and the way our body should move throughout the workout. So it is a great experience, a great time every time. There's always making sure that I'm working hard, even if I'm tired, I want to stop. He doesn't let me, pushes me every time. So it's definitely a great guy to work with.
Okay, so on to some really fun topics. Who are your favorite players in the league?
My favorite player, hands down, is Kyrie Irving. I love his game. His game is just so smooth. His best handle of all time. And when he's healthy, he's the best guard in the NBA, in my opinion, for sure.
No, I gotta go with the GOAT, LeBron. But if we're talking about just skill set, I like underdogs, so I'm gonna go with Drew Holiday. He's a very underrated player with a lot of talent. whose skill set is pretty high, that I think, and has one of the best skill sets in the game.
Oh, awesome. And yeah, like we were just saying, when Kyrie's healthy, he's a different player. Like in his debut this year, he's the only player ever to score 50 points in his debut, and was just the 7th Nets player ever to do it when he had 50 this season. So just out of curiosity, I'm curious, how many players you guys think are in the score 50 points against Tim Duncan club?
Tim Duncan.
3.
Ray, who do you guys think those guys are, if you had to guess? What players did it?
I would say I don't know. The Spurs were tough to score on. But
LeBron.
Definitely Kobe.
LeBron, Kobe.
Definitely AI. Because Tim Duncan's been on the Spurs for like 20 years.
Curry.
AI definitely faced him in his prime.
Curry, maybe.
There's one
KD.
man to score 50 points on Tim Duncan, and his name's Kyrie Irving. Out of everyone, Kobe, LeBron, all those guys maybe scored 40, but they never got to 50.
Wow.
And Kyrie scored 57 points on them back in 2015.
Not surprised.
That's crazy.
But shout out Pop, man. The defensive schemes that man can put together. Yeah, but he's just so quick, so crafty, so shifty. He has 1,000,001 ways to find his shot. Which is why I love him. Because every time I watch his game, I'm like, wow, this is a good move. I'm going to practice that.
You would guard Kyrie?
Yeah. I mean, why not? Having to guard him over the course of a game, that's a different story. I don't know. If there's a big crowd and all that, I might have to guard someone else. But to guard him one time just to see what it's like, yeah, I would love that experience.
No, awesome. And our next segment, give that guy a map. What was the craziest ankle breaker you ever saw from Kyrie? There's a lot to pick from.
Yeah, there is a lot to pick from.
I think he hit Curry really a good time in 2016's finals. So I had to bring that
Curry
up.
has a tough time checking Kyrie for sure. But I think just the most embarrassing one, like when he was when he hit Brandon Jennings. Or not Brandon Jennings.
Brandon Knight.
Brandon Knight, yeah. Brandon Knight in the rookie sophomore game. He comboed up, and then he hit him with like a tween cross step back, and Knight tried to close out, and he just lost his foot and fell right on his face. Yeah, that's one of my favorite to watch, for sure. But he's just had so many. Like one of my most favorite Kyrie moves that, it's not an ankle breaker, but it was just insane, was when he hit Malcolm Brogdon. They were playing the Bucks, and he was comboing up, and Brogdon was playing unreal defense, like just staying with him on all these moves. And then the second defender came, and Kyrie somehow spun between the both of them and got off a little floater that bounced around the rim and went in.
That was sick.
Yeah, I know. Like, I could only imagine how Malcolm Brogdon felt. Like, you play that good at defense, and then the help comes, and he still finds a way to score. But yeah, I mean, Kyrie could score 1-on-5 sometimes when he gets going.
No, definitely. He's a really tough guy to guard when he's clicking. We obviously always try to keep it professional here on the Big Fellas Basketball Podcast. But what are Grind City Training's thoughts on the flat Earth theory?
Yeah, dude. Kyrie is a very smart man. He's smart, dude. He's a genius. But like that came out of left field with the flat Earth theory. I'm more of a round theory kind of guy. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. I think the Earth's round.
You're sticking to it?
Yeah, I mean until proven otherwise.
So what kind of listeners connect with you on everything Grind City Training?
Probably the best way is through Instagram, Grind City Training. Give us a follow. I respond to all DMs related to training, and could also email me at grindcitytraining@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening to the Big Fellas Podcast. Check us out on all major social media platforms at Big Fellas Pod to join the chop up. You can also listen to us on every podcast platform on the planet. Stay tuned for the next episode, Big Fellas.